Well, hello there. I've been doing this shit for 12 years now. A fucking za. Started with Liberal Crime Squad, a Let's Play adventure, done through forum posts, and uploads to Dailymotion, which then turned into YouTube. An account I created on March 18th, 2010. We've done a lot. We've talked about that last year and the year before. But let's talk about what I just did this month. It was a busy month. Now, I'm not just talking about the System Shock 2 stuff that I had held over from when I broadcasted that in February. No, we got 2 runs of Death and Taxes. We've got a bunch of free space and more already recorded. That's going to be fired out with the schedule. You know, once upon a time, well, the scheduler didn't exist, but I also didn't keep things in reserve. Just fired it all at people's faces and let them figure out how to watch it. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. You can't be trusted with that. And let's get on the short Who's Your Daddy remake. What absurdity that was. And we've got This Means Warp. JG Lethal and I just did a session of that yesterday. 3 more runs. We've also got some thoughts at the end of run 7 about how we feel about the game. We've got 1 more session of that we'll be doing next week, and then most likely we'll be giving the game a break. Now, in reference to last month's update video, I did make mention that I would be pursuing more Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch. I expected it to be the case, and ultimately that didn't happen. Had zero interest in picking the game up. Free Space 2 also did not get started until the middle of this month. I have what's known as atrial fibrillation, the paroxysmal flavor. It's a heart condition. You know the 4 chambers of the heart, the upper atria and the lower ventricles? In a normal heart, they have a coordinated beat, and blood flows smoothly. For someone with AFib, the coordination is askew. The atria make their own rhythm. The condition can be a permanent thing, it can be a one-time thing, it can go undiagnosed. You could have a minor spasm every few months and live your life otherwise unaffected. On the other end of the spectrum, it could kill you. There's an assortment of risk factors which could lead to AFib. It can also have an unknown source. I've got a family member with AFib and 2 family friends. They all incurred the problem last year to rather extreme degrees. The family friends in question both collapsed due to stress over personal and financial losses. Me, I drove into tachycardia. Both times I checked into emergency, but didn't need to be shocked. Silver lining. Earlier this month, the start of it, actually, the 4th and 5th, within a span of 43 hours, I checked into emergency, got admitted to the general hospital, stayed overnight, discharged, admitted back into emergency 7 hours later, screamed in pain after a radiographer mishandled my contrast IV in a CT scanner, discharged again, lost 10 pounds in that time frame. The body has recovered from its bruises, though there are still elements that I haven't recovered from. I've got a suite of medications designed to prolong my life, and I could accept becoming dependent on them. I have no permanent injuries. The bank account's bleak, but I can't take it with me to the grave. And speaking of stress, I've been told to take it easy. I'm easing back into my walks at this point. I love being told to be indolent, even if there's no way I realistically can. So, I went from practicing Free Space 2 one night to then like easing into bed to checking myself into emergency. That's how my first week went. And this entire month has been riding that tsunami. It's been mostly defeats. But every now and then there's been a victory. Something to to buttress up fading hope. Now, that has not stopped me from recording and broadcasting merely colored how I've pursued life this month, and how I will pursue it moving forward. Low stress, though. That's why Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch can wait. But I have done a fuck ton of broadcast, and we did the death and taxes. I have stuff that I've just transferred over to YouTube and will be published. Some Doom 2 stuff, where I've randomly generated a map using Obsidian Level Designer, and thrown in 2 mods, Doom RL Arsenal and Doom RL Monsters. I've played my favorite SimCity, SimCity 3000. I've done some stuff that I won't be transferring over because it doesn't carry well. And that's Luck Be a Landlord. And I did a 25-hour marathon of Might and Magic 7 where I had viewers pick my party composition, pick the alignment path we would be pursuing, and pick how much we favored Avli or Arathia. The schedule fades off after 2 weeks, but you can see here what a bit has happened. You could attribute that to me feeling well, perhaps. To do that, you could also attribute it to desperation. Alternatively, you could attribute it to, well, I can't go pursuing other activities. So we're here. It's a similar vibe to the update video 2 years back, where I intended to leave, box up the computer, and move on with my life. Then, well, exigent circumstances. So that's that update. That's what the hell has happened to me this month, and what the hell we have done. That stuff that I've broadcasted has been transferred over to YouTube. It's in the middle of processing right now, and will be published in the coming days. Yippee. As for what happens next month, Free Space 2 is going to continue and resolve. We'll see about Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch then. And I would expect more broadcasts. I really enjoyed the Doom RL Arsenal mod with the Doom RL Monsters mod, combined with me just randomly generating maps using the Obsidian Level Designer. And I'll probably run more of that, albeit maybe episodic creations instead of full 32 maps. I would anticipate more of that. I've got Might and Magic 6 installed. I'll be taking a look at that. Might end up recording that. I also just purchased Might and Magic 8, which I have very limited experience, knowledge, familiarity. Just wasn't something that interested me when it came out. I tried it for a little bit and was like, nah. Once upon a time. There is that mega mod fusing 6, 7, and 8 together, but I wouldn't play that until I actually dipped back into 6. And maybe tried 8 on its own. More on that should it occur. That's all I could say for certain of what's happening next month. And even then, it's kind of incumbent, or dependent, I should say, on other affairs which transpire. Yippee. And something else from the Rewarding the Rewarders list. Besides Free Space 2. Will get done. Shortly. I installed Capitalism 2 to look at that. And based on how that looks and appears, I might just very well bite the bullet and buy Capitalism Lab. It just... ugh. I've seen Capitalism Lab at work, and Capitalism 2's interface is... it's rough. And... why settle for that? Just some ideas. Moving forward. Yeah. Of course, I just talked about this, but been broadcasting a whole hell of a lot here. Now, I understand that viewers, to varying extents, have problems watching things on Twitch. It's not just a matter of disliking the platform, but you may get bombarded with adverts trying to watch VODs, even though I don't have those enabled in any way, shape, or form. I can't control what Big Twitch does. Videos may also have a rough time loading for you. Your mileage may vary, as has been the case throughout the times I broadcast. Most everything gets transferred over to YouTube. Sometimes, though, there are considerable delays. Still, you can pay attention to this. I broadcast at varying hours, sometimes all hours of the day, with an eclectic mix of things. Yeah. I have a Discord server. That is where I guarantee push notifications for live broadcasts. I have a role that folks can opt into that get informed as soon as I start broadcasting. I've shied away from like pushing like YouTube videos for that, then deleting them after the fact. I just don't like doing it as much as I used to. I have like a different way of like conveying like when I'm broadcasting, and I confess that I stopped enjoying pushing YouTube like announcement videos for when I'm broadcasting so much when I fell behind, and this has happened like over the years on things that I wanted to do for YouTube. Like explicitly like local recording stuff as opposed to live things I'm transferring over. This can go back to a whole conversation of do you like want to create a separate channel for like what you do here, and the answer is no. I still don't. Even after all these years. This is your one-stop shop for let's get on with the content, be it local or live. Alright? Alright, I think that about does it for business. Now it's time to really get into business, right? That's what Corporate Grimith is really here for. Your money. Starting next month, I'm going to create a new membership level for my Patreon. I am bringing postcards back. It's been 2 years. I can use the mail services again. Fine, just fine. The city advisory can be set on fire. After all, everything around here is transitioning back to how it used to be. It used to be that the postcards was at $10 per month. The update video install was at $25 per month. I think I'll keep things as they are. I think this postcard's going to be a huge premium, just an immense surcharge due to the rising price of stamps, which hasn't been that much, and the rising cost of my time in filling out a postcard. It's way too much for a fucking postcard for me. But that'll be the new goal. So it's not something that'll be like folks will get billed for, and I'll send out postcards in April. It'll be something folks get billed for, and I'll send out postcards in May. Which means you'll be getting billed for... You'll figure it out, right? Or maybe you won't. There we go. That's that. I still got a couple of stamps and plenty of postcards left over. I can mail to anywhere in the world that accepts mail from the United States. Your mileage will vary. Alright. Anyway, we do have some update video insults, which are basically shoutouts to give out right now. So let's get to that. We have Applejack, Vig is a Bad Shot, Dark Urin, Chris Van Beers, Pork and Bean, Zachary McKinley, Abhorsen, Kalen, Mog, Necrolotu, Perpentock, Tiny Shopkeeper, Olexi, Weapon, Zoran, No One, Alowin, Arthresh, Augusto, Azure Rain, Brandon, Cast Iron Dude, Corbin, Crazy MLC, Eric Adams. Why did I just choose to read, like, some people's surnames there and not other people's surnames? Let's start again. Applejack, Vic is a Bad Shot, Dark Urin, Chris Van Beers, Pork and Beans, Zachary McKinley, Abhorsen, Kalen, Mog, Necrolotu, Perpentock, Tiny Shopkeeper, Alexi Zalo, Weapon, Zoran, No One, Alowin, Arthresh, Augusto de Oliveira, Azure Rain, Brandon Schneider, Cast Iron Dude, Corbin, Crazy MLC, Eric Adams, Eroding Sun, Green Doom Guy, Industrial Robot, Inferno 308, Just Jim, Luke Butkus, Maxwell Damage, Nexus Nemesis, Nick King, Otaku Shout, Patrick, Putero, Smooth Move, Trash Panda 420, Who, and William Melbourne. Corporate Grimith appreciates your sacrifices. And broadly, I am appreciative of the time and availability and opportunity I have to keep pursuing video games and continue to build stories and share those with other people and tell, basically engaging in a a form of group storytelling. Just not as involved as role-playing games that sit around at a table with and play with other people. But really, though, it is group storytelling. I'm glad. I've had a lot of moments, some highs and lows, a lot of lows over the years. But good, powerful, strong moments. This absolutely has not been a waste of my time to pursue. I have enjoyed it, and presumably, if you have consumed this update video, maybe you've enjoyed it too? Presumably, maybe? Yeah, presumably, maybe. We can go with that. Strong stance. I don't want your maudlin, sappy shit in the comments. But that's never stopped people from leaving that stuff there before. I say, don't leave first, or I'll block you. Or delete the comment, because I'm always first. People leave first. I say, don't, leave comments that just do nothing but jazz hands. I'm just leaving this for the YouTube search algorithm. Because that aggravates me. I remove those too, and I might block you. It's consuming my time when I read those comments. I say, don't leave, maudlin, sappy shit about, oh, I've been watching you off and on for years. I'm so glad that you're continuing to do this. It brings me back to nostalgia of when I watched you when I was in school, and now so much of my life has changed, but I can still look back at you and see that. But, I mean, I could just disable comments for that, and I guess I won't. I'll just leave that there. Enjoy. Fucking guess. Alright. We're good. People have it worse in this life than I do. But people have it better, too. My father used to say, when I'd ask him how he was doing, that he couldn't complain. It wouldn't matter if he did. Damn it, it would, because I fucking asked him. I typically don't ask people how they're doing, because I don't really want to launch into that story. Hope you were ready to get more than you bargained for when you embarked upon this update video. Not a whole lot of escapism here, huh? Just bitter despair and desperation. But hey, desperate people are motivated people, right? No one can argue. You have all been bereft of action from this channel. Perhaps it shall continue. How long can one continue to be desperate? Grimith looks out his window at the overcast sky and the gusts of wind swaying the evergreen trees. Then he looks back at the monitor at the stop recording button. He says, "Take care, everyone." That's all I fucking got.